So in this presentation, we are going to see about a wrapper class. So first we will understand what is a wrapper class and what are the classes we have in that. So everything we will see in detail. Okay, first of all, what is a wrapper class? So to understand about this, we will make a clarity about the primitive data types. You know what is primitive data types? Primitive data type. So in primitive data type, we have many. So first integer, okay, then float, byte. Let me drag this down. So first one, well, let me take from smallest to large. First to Boolean, then byte, then short, then character, char, then int, long, float, and double. So these are the data types we have in Java. This all data types comes under primitive data type. Okay, primitive type also we will call. Coming to wrapper class. Okay, coming to wrapper class, let me run this. Coming to wrapper class, this is primitive type, and here wrapper class. So in wrapper class, we have the first one is Boolean. Okay. So the first letter should be capital. Okay, the first letter should be capital for any wrapper class. So first Boolean, next byte, next short. You notice everything, you see the first letter of the wrapper class, it is beginning with what? Uppercase. Character, then integer. We have to give complete word of the particular wrapper class. So long, long, then we have float, float, and double. Completely we have to type. So when we compare this to the primitive type and the wrapper class, primitive type we have Boolean, same here we have Boolean, capital, the first letter should be capital letter. Coming to byte, primitive type, here we have capital B. And here short, same here. Here the uppercase. Character, here we have CHAR, but here CHAR, ACTER. Okay, so complete word we have to give. Similar for everything. Okay, similarly for everything we have to give full word. So if you notice here, half of the word we have in this. So for example, integer, int only we have, here integer we have. All right. So this is the difference between primitive type and wrapper class. So when we declare variable, what we will do, primitive data type we will use. So for example, int a is equal to 10. So this is primitive data type, and the a is belongs to primitive data type variable. So that a variable contains the value 10. Okay. Now, what is the use of wrapper class? Actually, wrapper class, it's a feature which is available in the Java. We will use this for conversion purpose. Conversion purpose means from primitive to wrapper object, from wrapper object to primitive type. Okay. Okay, that I will explain. So now, what is wrapper class? Wrapper class says that just a minute. Yeah. To convert primitive type data, okay, primitive type data, primitive type, not data, primitive type we will keep, primitive type into objects, primitive type into objects, and objects to primitive type. Okay, so to convert primitive type into objects and object to primitive type, which means just have a look what we are going to do. Wrapper class in the sense to convert primitive type to wrapper class object. So by using this all things, we are going to create one object. So primitive type to wrapper class object, from wrapper class object to primitive type. This is called wrapper class. This definition we can give for wrapper class. Okay. The example we'll try to understand this. Now we have something called as auto boxing and auto unboxing. So what is auto boxing here? Auto boxing in the sense from primitive type to object, if you are converting something, that is called auto boxing. What is auto unboxing? From object to primitive type. If you convert something, that is called as auto unboxing. Okay, that is called auto unboxing. Okay. Now we will see one example for auto boxing and we will see one example for auto unboxing. So the program I have here, let me show you how it works. So notepad, yeah. Auto box, yeah, here we have auto boxing. So if you observe this program, in this program, so we declared one variable. Okay, we declared one variable that is a is equal to 10. That is primitive data type. So a is belongs to integer data type. Okay, so which carries 10. Okay, now what I'm going to do, this primitive data type, I'm going to convert into wrapper class object. Okay, wrapper class object. Okay, to convert a primitive data type into wrapper class object, we have to include this statement. This statement we have to include. For example, what I'm going to do, let me remove this. The entire thing I'll remove. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, to create wrapper class object, to create a wrapper class object, first we have to create no wrapper class object. So for that we need integer wrapper class because we have here integer. Okay, so integer space, we have to give one object name, that is b. Okay, that is b equal to new keyword we have to use. We know that when we create object, normally we will use new keyword. It is a dynamic memory allocator, we know that. And followed by that integer again, integer, and open bracket, close bracket, and break. See, what I said, the primitive data type should be converted into wrapper class object. Okay, so what I can do here, I can put a inside it. Actually, this is constructor. We know that this is a constructor call. A we have inside. What happens here? A is given as a parameter to this wrapper class and it is going to store into B. B is what? Object. Here we can give comment like this. B is a wrapper class object. Wrapper class object which contains the value of primitive type variable. Value of primitive type variable. So which is primitive type variable here? Primitive type variable is a, which is belongs to integer, that is primitive data type. That we are assigning to what? The object b. So how we are considering b is an object? I'll tell you. See, we have executed many programs, just a minute students, we have executed many programs. In the programs, what we will do, usually when we create object, class name we will give. Class name, for example, uh, demo is the class name. So followed by that, what we will give any object name. That is S1 is equal to new keyword we will use. Again, demo we will take, right? Then followed by that open bracket, close bracket. Okay. So now if you see, this signature is matching with this signature. Okay. Then we will ask one question to me. Here demo is a class name, correct? For class name only we will create object, right? And how come integer is a class? Integer is a wrapper class. Integer is a wrapper class which is available in the Java library. For that we are creating what? Object. That object name may be anything. It's your choice. So how we have taken S1 here, it's our choice. Same like that, B is an object that is created here. For that we have assigned what? The primitive data type. Okay. All right. So this is for integer. Okay. Now we will try for float. So here float is what? Float is actually, when we see here, float also comes under what? Primitive data type. Excuse me. Sorry. Float is comes under what? Primitive data type. And also here we have float, but this is not primitive data type. This is wrapper class. Okay. So float I will take. From float to wrapper class object, how we can convert. So which we have seen now. We have seen integer. We have seen integer. We have seen integer. Integer to integer we have seen. Right. Now float to float we will see. So how we can convert it. So now let me take the same program so that I'm going to alter here. So here float I will take first. Okay. Float data type. And here, instead of integer, what I can do? I can give capital F. Okay, that we have to use. And in this case also, we have to use what? Capital F. And for float, what we need? For float, we need F in the beginning. Sorry, F at the end. Okay. So we have to give here 10.5 something and followed by F. Okay, that's it. Okay, so for float we can convert like this, and if you want to convert any other byte, we can do the same way. Short we can do the same way. Character will not work. Okay, integer we have done. Long we can perform. Float we can perform, and double also we can perform. In the sense, uh, this all are possible. This all are possible to convert from primitive to wrapper class object we can perform. In examination, they may ask particularly any data type to convert into wrapper class, or they can ask question generally like what is wrapper class? Any two data primitive data type convert into wrapper class by one example like that also they may ask. Okay, so we have to be ready for all the things. Okay, all right. Now, now we have seen auto boxing. Which one is auto boxing? So this example we can say, yeah, just a minute. This example is best example for auto boxing. So where we have performing auto boxing. Auto boxing is happening here, which means primitive data type, if you are assigning for any wrapper class object, that is called as what? Auto boxing. So auto boxing says that primitive data type into wrapper class object. So what is auto boxing? Let me type here. Primitive data type into wrapper class object. All right. So let me track this. Okay. All right. So now let me move this auto boxing. So now primitive data type into wrapper class. So this is called auto boxing that we have seen now. What is auto unboxing? So for that we have an example. Let me take that example, auto unboxing. Here in auto unboxing, if you see, there is a vice versa of auto boxing. So if you look at this, first we have to create wrapper class object. So what is unboxing? Unboxing is nothing. From wrapper class object to primitive data type, we have to convert from wrapper class object. from a wrapper class object in the sense, first we have to create a wrapper class object. How we can create? Like this we can create. So we have created wrapper class object. So wrapper class object is A here. A is a wrapper class object. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this. Let me do it quickly. So to create a wrapper class object, first which you can use anything. Integer you can use, float you can use, double you can use anything. Let me take integer. This is wrapper class uh, integer space, and I'm going to give a here. A is an wrapper class object equal to new keyword we have to use. New keyword we have followed by that integer again, and followed by that we can open the bracket, close the bracket, and break. So inside it, we have to assign the value for a. So what we can do, 10 we can give. Your choice. 10 you can give, 4 you can give, 14 you can give, anything you can give. Okay, so now the 10 is assigning to what? The object A. The object A. And where we are doing unboxing we are doing here, which means object A is a wrapper class object that we are assigning to what? Integer value, that we are assigning to integer variable B. So this is integer variable, and this is what? This is what? Object, wrapper class object, and this is integer variable. So when we convert from wrapper class object to integer variable, any data, that is considered as auto unboxing. This is type 1. We can unbox wrapper class object into primitive data type in another way also that we have here. So what we can do, integer, another variable. This is object actually. This is object. What we can do is, value of you can use and you can assign it. Okay, value of you can use and I assign. Value of is a function actually. Now a is what? A is a data type. Let me change this. This is integer. Okay, int C, which means what? Now a is a object, wrapper class object that we are assigning to integer variable C. Okay, so integer wrapper class dot value of method if you are using, and you can convert it. So we can perform this operation in two ways. The first one is just we are assigning wrapper class object to primitive type object, primitive type data type, and by using value of method we can perform this operation. Okay, so there are two ways to perform this. The first one is what? First one is in auto boxing, in auto unboxing, we have two ways to perform boxing and unboxing. The first one is we can we can we can create the we can create the object. We can create that. So I'm unable to write here. So let me speak. First method is to create a constructor. To create a constructor. Create a constructor means here we have. Let me show you. Create a constructor. This is create a constructor. This is actually construct. To create a constructor, after creating the constructor, we can create an object. Okay, that is one way. The second way is we can use value of method that we can assign to what? Data type. This is second way. So in these two ways, we can perform conversions from primitive to wrapper class object, then from wrapper class object to primitive. So primitive to wrapper class object means it is auto boxing. Wrapper class object to primitive type means that is auto unboxing. So that we have to understand. All right. Now, now, now we will see how the string can be converted into integer. Okay, so this you have to predict which one it is. This is auto boxing or this is auto unboxing. You see, I'm not mentioned string in this, so you cannot see string in this, but string it's a wrapper class actually. String will not comes under primitive type. String comes under what? Wrapper class only, and string will not be in primitive type. String is a wrapper class. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to declare a variable in the format of string that I'm going to convert into integer type. So here if you observe, string data type I have given, sorry, string wrapper class I have given, and followed by that I have an object equal to new keyword, and followed by that string constructor. In the string constructor, see, I have enclosed this value with the double quotes. If I enclose something with double quotes, that is called as string. That is called as string. Now this 10 is string format that we have to convert into what? Convert into that we have to convert into integer. Okay. So if you want to convert this into integer, which statement we have to take? We have to give the statement in this way. So this is the statement which converts the string 10 into what? Number. Okay. So if you observe closely, in the right side, assignment operator, this is assignment operator. Right side, you see integer is a wrapper class followed by the dot to convert any string into convert any string into number type. What we will use? Parse int we will use. See, I'm trying to convert a string object into integer. That's why parse int I have used. So for example, if I want to convert this 10 in float, for example, let me take 10.5 f. 10.5 f. So 10.5 f is nothing. 10.5 f, this is float actually. So if you want to convert this float, what changes I have to make in this statement? I have to change this as a float. Okay. 1 minute. Okay, float equal float. So let me take one value also. B is equal to. Um, Let me clear this for better understanding. Float b equal to uh, float b equal to float. So this is wrapper class followed by the wrapper class dot, and here parse float. Open bracket, close bracket. In this bracket, what we have to pass as an argument? A we have to pass. Why? Because A is equal to what? 10.5. Okay, A is equal to 10.5. So A I am passing in this. If I pass A, the value which is present inside the A, that is string, that will be converted by using this statement. Actually, parse float, it is a parser which we have in the wrapper class, which converts string. See the specified data. See, you can take here any other format also, no problem. Uh, Parse float will convert the data type which is available here. That is nothing of string. That string will be converted into number format, float format. So B will contain what? B will contain 10.5 only. So if I print B will be containing 10.5. If I print A will be containing what? 10.5 as a string format, B as a number format. Okay, now we will try to convert the same string into double. So let me take here double. Here I will take space. Why it's happening like this? Okay, okay, double. Okay, now let me remove this. So double data type I will take, because why I am taking data type? Because here we are performing unboxing. Okay, unboxing says that from the object to primitive, from the object wrapper class object to primitive data type. Okay, so double is a primitive data type. If I put capital D here, then only it is what? It is wrapper class. Okay, so this is unboxing. So here float, instead of float, what I have to take? Double. I have to take double. Okay, and here parse double, parse double. That's it. So now this particular 10.5. So if you're using double, F you have to remove. Okay. So 10.5 will be converted into let me remove this also. Yeah, because double, it's a it's related to integer. it's related to integer, we can take that. Okay. So 1 minute. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Float and double are similar. Integer and long are similar. So here whole numbers we have to use. Here pointed values we have to use. So what alteration I am going to perform here? 10.5. Let it be as it is. F I am going to give, and here also, yeah, double it is. So if you are converting this 10.5 string into float and double, then you have to use F here. If you are not using, if you are not converting to float and double, if you are converting to integer and long, then we don't want this point variables and all. Point, if you want to keep, that should be float. So point you are not going to keep here because you are going to convert to what? Integer and long. Integer and long both takes only whole numbers. That's why it is 10. So if you want to convert in float and double, then you have to put 0.5 or something. So decimal point value we have to go, and F we have to give here. So this is all about string to integer conversion. String to integer conversion. Okay. Now let me execute the autobox, it's a wrap box. So what I'm going to do, let me take the command prompt in this. Let me clear the screen. So CLS. So to execute Java, okay, already execute and kept Java wrap box. Wrap. Okay, could not find. Okay, CA in the store. Let me compile it. Okay, compiled. Let me execute it. Yeah, it is showing 10, 10. Okay. This is auto boxing. Auto unboxing. If you go auto unboxing, it's a wrap unbox. Just a name I am seeing here. Unbox. Yeah, all right. We are getting output, no problem. Then finally, we have string to integer. Okay, string to integer, string to double, that is your choice. Let me rearrange the statement. Let me convert to integer only. So int, and here integer, and here parse int. Okay. If you see, the inner word letter should begin with uppercase. That you have to keep in your mind. Don't make mistake in examinations. Okay. Now the string 10 is going to convert into what? The primitive data type. This is auto unboxing. Okay. Auto unboxing. Okay. Now let me execute this quickly. We will see what is the name of the program. Name of the program is wrap1. So wrap1. Wrap1 executed. Yeah, we run the now we will run the program. Yeah, so we got the output. Now what you're going to do, I'm going to show these three programs. You have to first you pause the video and you have to identify the program belongs to auto boxing or auto unboxing. So first let me show this one. Don't read out the comments and all. You just look at the look at the course. In the code, I have given here float data type, and here I have given something. So is this belongs to auto boxing or auto unboxing? That you, by observing this code, you only predict, okay, for better understanding. And this one auto boxing or auto unboxing, and this one auto boxing or auto unboxing. Pause the video and find it out. If you are able to find out this is auto boxing or auto unboxing, then okay, no problem. If you're not, then you have to watch this video again. Okay, all right. Now, let me minimize everything. Okay, now we have something here, questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First is a create wrapper object using wrapper class constructor. So this where we have here. Let me show you. Yeah, wrapper class constructor. This statement satisfies that. So wrapper class constructor means this is the constructor, integer of 10. This is the constructor. By using this, we can create the wrapper class, first thing. Secondly, create wrapper class object using value of method. This also we have seen. So coming to this one, value of method where we have, here we have value of method. So by using value of method also, we can create what? Wrapper class object. Okay, value of method. And next, how to get primitive values from the wrapper class object. How to get primitive values from the wrapper class object. So getting primitive values from the wrapper class object. Look at this. Um, in this primitive values from the wrapper class object. So which one is primitive value? This is primitive value. So primitive values from the wrapper class object. Yeah. So this is wrapper class object. See, we are going to get the primitive value from the wrapper class object. This is the best example for that particular statement. Okay. Coming to next one, how to get values from the string object. So same program. See, in textbook, if you see, they have given many things. But in this video, I shortened everything. Once you understand this thing, then you go to textbook, you will understand everything. It's very, very easy. Okay. What is the third statement we have seen? What is the, yeah, this we have seen. What is the, how to get value from the string object? So which is string object? This is string object. So we are getting value from the string object. How we are getting? We are converting. We are parsing. We are using. We are converting the string object. What value we have in that? That is in the form of string that we are converting into normal variable, which means primitive type. Okay. We are getting the value from the string object. Okay. If you see this properly. Yeah. Next, how to get string object from the wrapper object. How to get string object from the wrapper object. Okay. String object from the wrapper object. So where we have string object, here we have a wrapper object. Yeah. So for this, yeah, I have something here. Let me type that code also here. So what I'm going to do, the question says that string object from the wrapper object. So string object from the wrapper object. Okay. Okay. How we are going to perform this string object from the wrapper object? Only one thing. Let me take let me take one thing. String object from the wrapper object. For example, float. Let me take float. Okay. Float is belongs to wrapper class. We know that because I have started with capital F. I have started with what? Capital F. Okay. If I start with small f, that is belongs to primitive type. Okay. Capital F, followed by the new keyword, and followed by that float. This is nothing constructor. Inside that, I'm going to keep string. So 123.4 f. Okay. Now this is belongs to string object. Which one? F is belongs to string object. Now we are going to convert into what? We are not going to convert. We are going to get. We are going to get from the wrapper object to the string. Get string object from the wrapper object. Okay. Which is string object? This is string object. F is the string object. F is the string object from the wrapper object. Okay. System dot out dot println, and inside it f dot to string. Okay. Okay. So now string object from the wrapper object. Okay. So this is wrapper object. See, I have told you this is string object, not like that. This is wrapper object. Because why I'm telling this is wrapper object, string will not comes under primitive and also wrapper object also. So string is common for both. So what we are going to do, this is wrapper object. From wrapper object, we are getting string object. String object, how we will get f dot to string means this will be converted into string and we will get it. Okay. All right. Now this is all about wrapper class. So watch this video again and again. And in textbook we have, in textbook we have, in textbook we have many things. In textbook we have many things. You just watch this video and go to textbook also for better understanding, because few people are familiar with the textbook, few people are familiar with the videos or any e-content. And you see, when you compare both the things, then only if tricky question asked, then you are able to answer. If you are not watching this video properly, or if you are not going to textbook properly, then you are unable to answer for any questions. Watch this again and again. And if you have any doubts, please text me. Please text me. I'll make another video. I'm ready to make another video also. No problem in that. But you have to get knowledge. That is my important. But that is my priority. Okay. All right. Thank you.